got his ass cooked. He got cooked.
Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
But Fayetteville State has a little bit more of an identity right now on both sides of the ball. I would say the one overlooked area for Fayetteville State is their front seven on defense. When you got Shock Askins and Sean Robinson, Kobe Merritt at the linebacker spot, like that's a lot. That's a lot to contend with, and that bunch is going to always keep them kind of in games. It's whether the offense can work enough magic to help, and so I think that's going to be the difference between these two. So, it's a shame because Bowie State, you thought that they were going to figure some things out, but it's kind of like where Lincoln is right now, except that they have a win and Lincoln doesn't. There are a lot of hopes that just ain't panning out. So.
Damari Daniels, his passing numbers, I say in the beginning of the game, Bowie State, Fayetteville State's not sexy, but they win. But God, he's 411 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 48% completion percentage. Even in the CIAA, that's gonna be hard to get that done. And the Broncos have allowed 332 total yards per game. And so
All right, so here we are, another game week for Bowie State University. We are in North Carolina once again. This time we're going to Fayetteville State University. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of week after week people doubting Bowie, people not picking Bowie, people saying Bowie ain't that good, and then the team going out there and not winning the game. Like, it's gotten to the point where now people are saying we're on this. First, they were saying we're on the same par as Livingstone. Then they turned around and said now they say we're on the same par as Lincoln. Like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but listen. But I played those clips because, first of all, it's good to have people talking about Division II HBCU football because there's not a whole lot of people doing it, honestly. So it's just good that people actually cover it and talk about it, but man, it's gotta be something hearing people saying, Bowie ain't that good, Bowie ain't gonna do this, Bowie ain't, like, come on, like, that's the first part. The second part was, did you hear those numbers? Did you hear their passing offense numbers on the season? And just to backtrack a little bit, I was going to do an emergency stream about what was going on at Bowie State, but two things happened. Number one, I was very busy this week, working. And number two, I sat back and I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait. We got a game on Saturday. I'm gonna see how that plays out and why it plays out. And depending on how that goes, then I might touch on a few different things, right? Because I'm actually an alumni of the school, and I love the school, in case you don't know. And so I'm not somebody that's going to be quick to be like, oh, I heard this. Or look, that's not important. It's not important to show, oh, I know this, or I heard. That don't matter, right? So I'm going to wait on that. I just want to see what happens on Saturday and how it happens and why it happens. I'm going to sit back and see how that goes. Straight up. But with those passing numbers that Fayetteville State has on the season, I think this week and really the remainder of the season is going to say a lot more about the staff than it's going to say about the players. Because, listen carefully. And we showed the clips, we showed the tape, we showed the issues that happened last week in the passing game, where it just seemed like nobody knew what was supposed to be going on out there. And as bad as Fayetteville State's passing offense is, if the defensive secondary looks like that again, it don't matter who's the quarterback. We're going to get lit up because who can't throw it to a wide open receiver. So that's the main thing we got to be looking out for this week, right? Not how many passing yards the team gives up, but how many wide open receivers there are. That's the thing to look out for. How many wide open receivers are there this week? How many blown coverages are there this week? That's what we're looking for. Because you can be in the right position and the guy's just good and you just get burnt. That's one thing. But guys running straight down the field wide open, we got to make sure we don't see that again. Because that's why I said I think it's more about the higher-ups than it is the players. Because it's either one of two things. Either the scheme is not being communicated effectively or the players are not executing it. But even if the players are not executing it, at what point do you put somebody else in? And I know you may say, well, the backup is not nearly as good, but listen. Anything is better than wide open. Like if you put the backups in because the starters are not following what they're supposed to follow, it couldn't have got worse than wide open. The guys were wide open by 10, 15 yards. So it couldn't have got worse. They were already wide open. But that's what we need to look for. Is the secondary where they are supposed to be? That's number one. Number two, does the offensive coaching staff make a decision and stick with it? We've been through practices, we've been through walkthroughs, we've been through this, that, and the third. We have a game plan in. This is the guy we think is the most comfortable to execute the game plan. And he's going to play. And he's not going to get pulled unless it's been a substantial amount of time and he ain't got it. And once we pull him out, he's staying out. We're not going back and forth. We're not going here. We're not going there. We're not trying this. We're not trying. Listen, we know the skill. Here's the important part. We know the strengths and weaknesses of each quarterback. And so we have packages and plays that we know best suits which quarterback. And based upon that, we're going to determine who should be playing. It's not going to be, we're going to throw him in there for 8 plays. Oh, I really like that. Let's throw him in there for 6 plays. We don't really like that. Let's put him in there for a quarter. No. Come up with a game plan. Figure out who can best execute the game plan. Make sure you implement things that they're most comfortable with. And let's do something on offense that makes sense. That was the issue last week. Offensive personnel, offensive play calling didn't make sense. That was the same thing on defense. Either play calling or assignments or who was out there didn't make sense. That was the issue. Now, what is on the players is, listen, you're the one out there. You're the one playing. So you got to figure out what you need to do to be in position to execute. Also, you need to make sure that you are where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there so that you're in a position to play in the game on Saturday. It's simple. But then that goes back to the coaching again, because why are guys so comfortable not being where they need to be? Are they not worried about what because I'm trying to be careful how I say things, right? Are they not worried about what could potentially happen to their playing time if they're not where they're supposed to be? Is the respect level for the authority figures not what it's supposed to be? So once again, all that other stuff, listen, maybe it'll be water under the bridge. Maybe we have to talk about it eventually. But right now, we're just looking for things to make sense. Right? Things can make sense. You can play a hard-fought game on the road and lose. That'd be a tough loss, but hey. I think I speak for a lot of fans. We can live with losses. It was just, hey, that was a better team that day. What's hard for the fans to accept is it don't look like y'all know what the hell is going on out there. That's what bothers fans. So once again, their passing offense is terrible. If we can't shut down their passing game, then we got some problems. Our passing game should be significantly better than it was last week because it should be some cohesion. Otherwise, we got some problems. So that's what I'm looking for. Cohesion, effectiveness, and alignment.